Hey Cancer, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are doing the monthly readings. So looking ahead at December and what the energy has in store for you. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, of course, as well as leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. Okay, every comment on each video will go in and count as an extra entry all through November videos. Okay, I'm using quite a few decks today, Cancer. So starting off with the Mystic Soul Oracle deck. I also have here the Healing Bones Oracle, the Career and Money Oracle, and the Love Oracle I'm using today is True Heart Hidden Feelings Oracle. And tying everything together today with the lenormand. All right. So getting sort of straight on into it for you, Cancer. Cancer, what is, just looking at the general energy for Cancer in December. What does Cancer need to know in December? What's going on for our Cancers throughout December? Interesting. I definitely will need to clarify this energy for you, as it does start off with the fear energy. Facing your fears in some kind of way this month. We also have focus coming through. Needing to look a little bit closer and focus in on the fears. And you know, there feels like there's an underlying reason that you are fearful of something or someone or something. Not necessarily someone, but it's kind of like you're intimidated by someone. But it's kind of like you're trying to find the root of the fear, the underlying reason for that fear, that intimidation from someone or something. Clarify the fear energy for Cancer, please. I do feel, straight away though, I do feel as though this is the month to face that fear. Clarify the fear energy for Cancer in December. We do have the masculine energy. So this is like a fear to do with you yourself, a fear of, because the masculine is very, you know, controlling, very non-emotional, very logical and rational. But it's kind of like you're questioning, does me being very masculine based energy, does that mean that I'm afraid of being feminine energy, which is emotional? You know, it feels like it's got to do with the emotions here, to be honest. It does feel like it's a fear of emotions and a fear of intimacy in some way. That you feel as though you've always sort of felt like if you're not in control of your emotions, if you're not being logical and rational, if you're being emotional, and that's where the fear is coming from. But it's kind of like there's something else to it. There's more to it of why, of why you are in your masculine energy rather than in a balanced or feminine energy. There's an underlying fear that is making you sort of kind of scared of emotion, to be honest. Just one more to clarify the fear energy for Cancer in December, please. We have the Child, Cancer. So for a lot of you, this has got to do with your childhood, your inner child, that there's a way that, something that stopped you as a child from developing emotions in a certain way. There's a fear that, comes from the innocence of your childhood. It does feel like it's a childhood fear of intimacy or emotions that are still affecting you, and you're needing to really focus on that at the moment and face that fear a little bit here, Cancer. What's going on for Cancer in December, please? What does Cancer need to be aware of throughout December? Relatively straightforward message, and it's pretty much direct advice in regard to what we just spoke about. We have the birds coming through first. It's time to have a deeper conversation. For some of you, that may also be therapy, not going to lie. This can talk about professional, talking to somebody, having those conversations on a professional level. That can talk about that as well. But, it's kind of like talking about this conversation that you're starting to hold with not just yourself, but the part of yourself that is the woman. Yeah? Because we all hold masculine and feminine within us. And, ideally they would be balanced. We balance our masculine and feminine regardless of our gender. You can still be a very masculine male while still being in touch with your feminine side. And vice versa. You can still be a very feminine woman while still being in touch with your masculine side. And even if no genders can still be balanced within masculine and feminine, because the masculine protects the feminine, right? And is the one that takes control when it needs to, and can deal with things like rationally and logically. But it doesn't work by itself. It needs to be in synchronicity with the softer, more emotional sides of ourself, and the nurturing sides of ourself, that they work in sync together, not separated. So quite often when they're separated, that's when we start to have issues. So you kind of are, facing that fear this month by having these conversations with your femininity, with your emotional nurturing side, with yourself, having this conversation even just about nurturing the emotion within yourself. We do also have the clover coming through here as well. So you're taking a chance to invest in the more feminine aspects of self this month, and, to find those small happinesses and to find hope within emotional self. Okay, to face the fear of your softer side and having those conversations with your softer side, because the masculine, there's no point of having masculine energy if it's got nothing to protect. What is it protecting? It's protecting these fears right now. But if you've got that feminine energy there, you've got that vulnerability, that intimacy within you, that you then have your masculine can protect the feminine. Okay, and allows the feminine to have its safe space to be vulnerable and intimate and nurturing. But once again, balance, working together with the masculine and feminine. So you are needing to focus a little bit on that concept this month, and releasing the fears from your childhood and the ways that you've been raised, and investing a little bit more in your feminine side and investing in hope. It feels like investing in hope that you can be softer and your softer side can be seen, and you can be vulnerable without being fearful of that. Okay, so pretty full on, pretty deep straight away there. I do feel like I should draw a health and well-being card for you next. Cancer, what does Cancer need to know in regard to health and well-being? The skull. Warnings, dangers, protections, strength, changing, wisdom, transition, and rebellion. So you are rebelling a little bit against this feminine side of yourself. But this is, this is kind of a warning in the sense that you need to face these fears, because, the masculine can't protect you if it hasn't got the feminine to protect. And I'm just like looking at my background there, and wow, the sun has come out bright all of a sudden. If you look at I did just finish filming Pisces, and I don't believe it was quite this bright coming through that window there. The sun has really come out to shine right for you, Cancer. But this is the strength to change and grow through wisdom, to look after yourself and look after your softer sides. That's what the skull does. It protects the soft little brain on the inside of you. And you can't have one without the other, kind of thing. That's sort of how it's coming through, but it is just sort of coming through not to do with actual health and well-being. It's more to do with your emotional well-being, that there's no point having this skull to protect nothing. You need to have the brain and on the inside to protect, right? Otherwise, what is it protecting? Nothing. It's just an empty skull then, and it's just pointless by itself, Cancer. So it's just wanting to reiterate what we've just spoken about. Looking at love for Cancer in December, what does Cancer need to know in regards to love throughout December? Such interesting energy. We have the fairy tale card coming through first. Has very high standards, wants happily ever after, romance and fantasy. So I'm picking up that for some of you here, there is definitely someone around your energy here, but they kind of want the fairy tale. They want things to be more book-like, if that makes sense. And I kind of get them, right? Because I'm a book talk girl, I'm a fairy tale girl, but I am very, at the same time, very aware that there's no really such thing as happily ever after. It still takes constant work. That's part of what happily ever after is the constant work to, choose happily ever after every single day, and to keep working towards that every single day that you are together. But that's part of the high standards of, this person is wanting you both to be willing to do the work, to try to embrace your I feel like, once again, it's going back to this feminine energy. This person's wanting you to embrace that, and embrace the romance, and embrace the fantasy, that emotions are important. They help us dream. That's kind of what this person's energy is sitting there sort of saying, that I believe in you, Cancer. Believe in the fantasy, believe in something amazing, and you can have it too. Clarity. They mean what they say, expressing your needs and being simple and transparent. So once again, this is part of facing your fears, that, you're needing to express your needs on an emotional level, and your needs within love. What do you need from this person? They are very romantic-y. I'm picking up, for some reason, I keep picking up book top kind of messages. It's like this person, they've got this story in their head that love is supposed to be more structured than what it has been for you and them, because you're very non-emotional. This person seems to just want a little bit more of the emotional side of things, and they do mean what they say. I feel like this person, they already feel a lot for you, Cancer, and I think that you're gaining the clarity to understand that you actually want that too, but you just have not expressed that to this person. Feels like this person just wants that expression from you. They just want that expression of love from you, Cancer, and you have been holding back on them. Not going to lie, it feels like you've been holding back on them. Anything else Cancer needs to know in regard to love? Anything else Cancer needs to know in regards to love in December, please? There's the emotion hiding on the bottom of the deck there. That's your card, Cancer, followed by the cross. So, you intuitively already know that this is actually a very deep connection, a very strong, soulful connection. And there's a lot of abundance here. We have the fish and the tree. This person can actually help fulfill you, help you grow. They kind of, once again, with that that fairy tale card there, this person wants to help you grow and heal and take care of you and take care of yourself, that they want to help you mature and they want to grow old with you. They want to, branch out into, new ways of being fulfilled together. There's a lot of abundance coming through here. This person, it's kind of like the more that you're around this person, things just seem to go right in your life, whether it be you start getting more money or you start getting better jobs or whatever that is, it's this flow on effect of having this person in your energy. Things start to, flow much better for you when this person is around, to be honest, Cancer. So you're starting to see that a little bit more clearly this month. I'm just picking up a random message here of like, for Christmas, this person just wants the gift of expression from you. Okay. That's all they want. The gift of expression, expressing your feelings, your needs, your wants and desires. That's all they want from you. That you don't need to go and spend money on them for Christmas. You just need to, write them a love song or a love letter or something along those lines. What does Cancer need to know in December in regards to career and money? Career and money messages for Cancer throughout December, please. Okay, so very interesting energy for you. We have the Sword coming through first. Money conflicts, cutting corners, breakthroughs, cutting out the BS, I'm hearing as well. Law and order careers, pay cuts, defense careers, and being fired. It's not necessarily being fired, it's being cut from something. It's like you're being cut from that project that you wanted to do or something along those lines. Your hours are being cut, something along those lines. I don't feel as though it's, there's some sort of some sort of break. Maybe having to take a break, maybe being forced to take Christmas break when you actually are like, I just want to work through, I just want the money. But you've got to take the break kind of thing coming through there. We do have the Tower. So you are feeling a little bit like very isolated at the moment when it comes to career. Very working alone kind of energy, very isolated. Like I said, you might be having an enforced break. And that's why you're feeling isolated, because you want to be surrounded by work, but you're being forced to isolate from work at this point. Earning power, building a business, sound decisions, corporate jobs, power in unstable positions. So there's just something about, I'm just sort of getting that you're needing to follow the structure as well. That, the more that you try to break the structure of what you're being given, like it's kind of telling me, the boss's structure, the company's structure, the more that you're trying to break free from that, the worse it's going to be for you here. You need to actually allow this isolation or allow this period of instability with the work stuff, because then that will actually create more stability for you next year. For some of you, you may be sort of, getting getting taken off a certain project or certain hours that you enjoy. And it leaves you feeling a little bit like, oh, that's not what I wanted. But in the long run, it actually works out better for you. So just be aware of that, that even though it feels like, oh, I don't want this, in the long run, you'll realize why. There's a method to the madness kind of thing. Other than that, it's not really wanting to talk too much about career or money. Other than that, it's really wanting to just go back and remind you that true abundance is coming from things outside of your career and money. So that's not actually what's most important in your life to you, regardless of what you tell yourself. Okay. But that's what we've got for you today, Cancer. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Leave that comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And I will see you all again soon.